Can everybody be quiet, please? Let's go through them one by one. Number one, the biggest mistake I saw was that a number of people didn't pull out the greatest common factor. Some people pulled out just the x, some people forgot to pull out the x, some people just picked the wrong combination. So the biggest thing to remember on number one is that the biggest common factor between 8 and 14 is 2, and the greatest common factor between x squared and x is x. As always, your job is to multiply back with a quick mental check. If you got it wrong, had you done a quick mental check, you would have gotten it right, more than likely. Okay, numbers 2, 3, and 4, generally speaking, we looked very good on. Alexandria, there is no x that they share in common. Okay. Any problems with 2, 3, or 4? Okay, now let's go to number 5. As this is the one that Wilson was the only one to get 100 right.
Oh my God.
And so he was the only one to get number 5 right. Number 5 stood between many of you and a 100. I think every person realized that there is no common factor, so they went to plan B, which is a great first step. You multiply by 12, and you get x squared plus 11x plus 24. Then they remembered to go back in, or you remembered, generally speaking, divide by 12. That was the next step that we saw right here. Here's the division by 12. Now the question is, what do you do? And I talked about this a lot, but I can only remember one example where, God bless, where we actually did it. You must reduce the fractions. So 8/12 becomes 2/3, 3/12 becomes 1/4, and then you do the trick where you multiply up by the 3. 3x plus 4, and over here, 4x plus 1. So there's the correct solution, okay? There's that work shown for you where you can see a little better, Chloe. Spencer.
So, if you would write like x plus 1/4 and x plus 2/3, that would be wrong?
Yeah, because look, if you tried to multiply that back, would you have gotten back what you started with?
Probably not.
Definitely not.
Okay.
So that's the issue. Listen, the very first thing we did when we started working on factoring was to say you always do a quick mental check. And had you done the quick mental check to the ones that you got wrong on your paper, odds are you would have found your mistake. But many of you, in fact, the vast majority, I think, are not doing the quick mental check. It is mandatory if you expect to get them all right. Yes?
When you switch to like, when you go from x plus 2 over 3 and x plus 2 over 4, how do you get 3x and 4x?
You take whatever the denominator is here, and you multiply it up over here.
Okay.
So there's the 3x, and there's the plus 2. Putting the 4 up here, there's the 4x plus the 1. Okay? Any other questions? Okay. Spencer?
Lights?
No. Rubik's Cube. All right, I want to make sure that this looks like your sheet on the front page, does it?
Yep.
Good. All right. So, God bless. Before we actually start doing this question, I want to give you an easy quadratic equation. Just to make sure that we're all on the right page, because we did have Ms. Bucaria's presentation yesterday, and I consider it a very worthwhile thing, otherwise I wouldn't let it happen. But it does set us back just a hair, and we now need to take a little step forward to make up for that. So let's try this equation.
Can use this feature.
There we go, we're good. Okay, so solve this, ready? Go ahead. Give you about 45 seconds to get that done. Yes? Yeah, remind me in a minute. First, let's get everybody to get done. Okay, so we talked about quadratic equations the last couple days, and one of the big findings was that with our strategy, we want to get it all on one side. So my first step is to subtract 28. And then I get x squared minus 3x minus 28 equals 0. Then I factor. X minus 7 times x plus 4 equals 0. Maybe it's the guy on the left. Maybe it's the guy on the right. 87. X equals 7. Subtracting 4. X equals -4. And that, folks, is routine. That is considered baseline. You should all be able to do that in your sleep by this point in time. If not, you have a 3-day weekend, you have a website, you have plenty of lesson sheets. On the website, it's possible to print more lesson sheets. So you could print more lesson sheets and go over the questions you already have answers to and find out if you're doing right or wrong. But this must be second nature to you. You must be very comfortable with this. Any questions? All right, so now we kick it up a notch. Or as Emerald would say, BAM! Kick it up a notch.
Who said that?
Emerald, he had his own TV shows as a cook, and every time he would start cooking, he would take spices and throw it in, and he'd go, BAM! Kick it up a notch. Now, he actually has like restaurants in Disney World and stuff like that. The length of a rectangle is 5 inches more than twice a number. The width is 4 inches less than the same number. The perimeter is 44. Sketch a diagram and find the unknown number. So let's do some sketching. Such a sketchy problem. The length, let's underline here, ready? Length is 5 inches more than twice the width of a number. The width is 4 inches less than the same number. Perimeter is 44. So, if I want to solve this, the length is 5 more than twice the number, so this is 2w plus 5. This side is also 2w plus 5, because in a rectangle, opposite sides are congruent. Next, 4 inches less than the same number, right? That's what it says, right? 4 inches less than the same. Good, so x minus 4, x minus 4. Key word here, perimeter. How do you find the perimeter? Everybody? Add both sides. So let's do a little bit of this in our head. 2w, 4w, 5w, 6w. That should be w, not whatever. And then 10 minus 8 is 2, is 44. Subtract 2. 6w is 42, dividing by 6. W is 7. So it wants to find the unknown number, which in this case was 7, so I am done. Yes?
But it says 4 less than the same number. It doesn't say 4 less.
Yeah, the same number, not the same side. The number was W. The number was not 2W.
Because what I did was I did that the width as 2w plus 5 in parentheses minus 4. Then I solved and I got w equals 4.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Look, twice a number. That's the number they're referring to. So therefore, that's the number they're referring
Oh, I
to.
thought they said twice the width.
Yeah, twice the width uses the same number that the other one uses, but the other one does not use the width, the length as the number, it uses the width. Okay. Now, let's scroll forward a little bit. Try that one. Yes, one did catch on to the key word there. Try. Yeah, you didn't write the correct expression for the width. Would it be right? No.
No, I mean,
If it was a 3-point question, you would have gotten 2 out of 3.
how come I got like I didn't put it.
No, you didn't do it totally wrong. You expressed this one, you expressed this one, you added them up, you said it equal to 42. The only thing you did wrong was you didn't express this properly.
Well, people keep bringing it up and I keep forgetting to say something. For some reason, they photocopied yesterday's sheet onto today's sheet. Only do the part that's today's sheet.
Oh.
Okay?
That work?
Stay. Good boy. Good boy. Watch, this is really cool.
How do you divide when there's a W squared?
Oh, I get it, never mind.
Oh, man.
It's a gift. It's a real gift.
Do we have to do the first homework thingy tonight?
Yeah, that's the only one. The
Yeah,
one
but
for
there's
sheet.
another one.
Yeah, but that's the old sheet. You don't have to do the old sheet.
I
Okay,
accidentally did that one.
ready? Excuse me. Likewise, the length is 5 more than twice the width. The width is 4 less than the same number. And now they say magic word.
Area.
Area. How do I find area?
Multiply.
Multiply. So 2w plus 5 times w minus 4
See, that's where I got confused.
is 15. So for the first time all year long, we're going to take a quadratic equation and apply it to a word problem. Now I need to double distribute. Cover up the 5, distribute the 2w. Cover up the 2w, distribute the 5. So I get 2w squared minus 8w plus 5w minus 20 equals 15. Putting it all together, I get 2w squared minus 3w, and then I'm going to go minus 15 here, minus 35 equals 0.
Okay, see, I didn't do that. I did the other way.
And now, the question is, how to factor this. And to factor this, I have to recognize that there is no common factor. So I do plan B, w squared minus 3w minus 70. And how do I factor that? Spencer?
No, I had an idea for it.
Come on, it's very doable, guys. AM method, I need two numbers, multiply out to negative 70, add up to negative 3. Think of the easiest way to get 70.
70 times
10 and 7, right? Well, 10 times 7 is 7. It's going to be w minus 10, w plus 7. But then, because this is plan B, since I multiplied by 2, what do I have to remember to do? Divide by 2. As we learned before, simplify. W minus 5. Over here, can't be simplified, becomes 2w plus 7
Equals 0. Is that over 2?
equals 0. Yeah, that's over 2. Now, come over here.
For real, there's more?
Well, maybe it's the guy on the left.
I'm really confused.
Maybe it's the guy on the right.
Oh, wait, now I get it, okay.
Add 5.
Was that minus 5?
W is 5.
Is that W minus 5 equals 0?
Mhm.
I feel like we slow down.
No, because you're going to catch up.
Right when I start to.
W equals 5w.
Shh, talk less, write more. Just write everything I wrote, and then we'll talk about
I don't have enough. I get it. I'm not.
I have no idea what you're writing.
it. Guys, don't harm your learning. Hold on. I think I'm going to be able to answer all your questions, but I want to wait just a couple more seconds for people to finish copying it down. Because I don't want you to be copying when I want you to be thinking. Quickly?
So, like, under, the W minus 5 equals 0, what does that say?
Add 5, add 5. If you have difficulty with the handwriting, just think about what you would normally do. And that's probably what it is. Okay, so, what did we do here?
I have no idea.
Well, quiet and listen. Stop. Hands down. Everybody, do me a favor. Don't use your mouths. Don't use your hands. Use your brain. And look here. And I want to go right through this all together. But it's going to require you to think a little bit deeper and to concentrate. So follow along. We make a rectangle. We said that the two sides are 2w plus 5 and w minus 4. That should not be a problem. We just did it a minute ago. Okay. Next up. The big change in this problem versus all the others was the word area. With area, we don't add all 4 sides, we multiply the length and the width. So here's the length, here's the width, and to multiply them, means to double distribute. AJ, end the game. So I double distribute and I come up with this. And it said the area was 15, so I have to make it equal to 15. So look, this is just a double distribute. If I erase the whole rest of the board, you just need to know to get these two guys in the middle together, that's all. So that's where the -3 comes from, -3W. -8Ws and 5Ws make -3Ws. And then, this is a quadratic equation, and just like on the do it, we said anytime you have a quadratic equation, you wanna get it all on one side. So I took the 15 and I put -15. And that gives me 2W squared minus 3W minus 35 equals 0. Now, at that point in time, we should have said to ourselves, you know what? I got a problem. The problem is that 2 in front, and there is no common factor. So I looked for a common factor. That's what I always want to do. But since there was none, I have to go to plan B. So I take the 2 here and I multiply it. And I get W squared minus 3W, and instead of 35, because it's times 2, minus 7. Then I factor that. Factoring this is just a matter of W minus 10 times W plus 7. Everything I did so far should not confuse you at all. You might not be fast at it, but you should be able to say, I see where he's going with this, I see what he's doing. Now, once I get to this step, this was like number 5 on the quiz that gave you some difficulty. This is easy, 10 divided by 2 is 5, so I get W minus 5. Over here, 7 over 2 is not reducible. So this is the question that Sydney asked at the very end of the quiz, where she said, where does this 2 come from? Well, the 2 gets placed up here, so that's the 2W plus 7. So I have this guy times this guy equals 0. This is a step yesterday where I said, maybe it's the guy on the left, maybe it's the guy on the right. One of them, hold it. One has to be 0. So I write them out. I solve, but listen, this is very, very, very important. Is it possible to have a negative length?
No.
No. So I take this answer and I cross it out, because I cannot have an answer of -7 over 2. The next few days, we will do word problems with quadratics. Hasta la vista, vaya con Dios, toodaloo, ta-ta. I'll leave it there, Chase. Smile a lot. Ciao. Zane. Adios, amigos y amigas. Cheerio. Garushinus. Kadafis. Sayonara.